Hey folks, welcome back to the big barn build. Today it's on to the steel work again. Last week we got these two big beams up. Dave's back again now for a Saturday bit of fabrication. So stick around and we're going to get drilling, plating, welding and all that good stuff. Right, so you haven't missed much. We are using the same dimension steel, albeit a little bit narrower, to create this beam that crosses and joins to both of these existing ones. While Dave carries on with that, 'cause it's not really a two-person job just yet, I'm going to do a job which is a long-awaited task, which is to remove the paneling here, cladding I should say, from the two bays which are going to become doors or opening for the patio. So although we've got the scaffold on the other side, this is quite a big reveal. Well, that's giving us a bit more light. So the only bits that won't come out as easily are these rails, so just got to cut the bolt the other end and then I can lift those out, and hopefully it won't be too long before we get the scaffolding down, get that trampoline out the way and we'll have a nice view. Remember, believe it or not, I've got to denail all these boards and keep them because the planning department wants us to reuse these. Right, we think we're ready to get this steel up now. Unfortunately, some clever clogs dug a big hole by the door and also doesn't have the forklift inside the barn. So luckily it's a bit shorter, but it's still quite a big beam. We're going to see if we can do it with the digger, just get it on a strop and kind of get it up and pivot it in. And we think we're going to be all right, don't we, Dave?
I hope so.
And what we've also done is these are on ready, just loose. And what we're doing, we're going to get it up, then mark it, or we're going to...
I'm hoping I can match draw through the magnet, that's what I'm hoping.
So get it up and clamp it?
Yeah, and again, I'm confident, I'm hoping I can match draw through it.
Where's the offcut from last week?
The offcut's there.
I was trying to explain it. So this is our beam from last week, these ones up here. They're 254 by, what are they? 254 by 150 or something? 156. Okay. 146. So essentially 254 in height, This is exactly the same, or it should be. It's just a slightly narrower flange. But what we find is the 254 from last week is about 8mm different. So what we've had to do is we've decided to make the top flush. Well, will be at a right angle, so the top will be flush, and then the bottom will all be fixed in with the angles, but then we'll have to, our ceiling will be brought down, so it shouldn't matter. It's just a bit odd that you order it all as 254 and it ain't. Right, that might not have been quite so smooth and as controlled as with the forklift last week, but it was up. We put this in just so it can't fall anywhere, but now it is in. There's almost no way that can come out. It's a really nice fit in between the webs. So Dave's got his magic tool now. We're going to roll it, because all it needs to do is just stand back up towards us. Is that a homebrew, that tool?
To be fair, it's quite well known in this industry, but they usually make them.
I guess it's going to be slightly weighted off centre anyway, isn't it, with that angle, until we bolt it. Do you want a clamp?
What I'm trying to do is get it up to the top level now and get it to the close measurement.
Right, if I give you these plates, use these.
Somewhere near it.
So we're clamping a plate on top of both up, and that'll raise this one up to make sure it's flush on top. So we're on our centre line there.
It's pretty good.
Cool.
I got one on the top of it.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'll get that one in first, because I've got the line going all the way through.
Yeah.
And then this one I can just square off somehow.
And is it worth, I mean, there shouldn't be much flex in these big long steels, should there? Is it worth just checking?
Well, I thought, to be fair, I've got a bit of a gap here, so I don't think it's going to push it out much.
No.
Because I allow 5mm each end.
You've got about, well, you have to square this end up. This end might end up being a bit tighter. So I'm getting these drilled in. We can't get the mag drill to reach over and drill through there. Hole saw bit, it's just going to take too long. So I've marked up these holes, and I'm now going to line up the mag. Slide this out of the way and then get the mag drill on this web, if I've got enough wiggle room. Right, our centre beam now is all bolted up, and while I've been doing that, Dave's been making our posts. So we've got 2 posts here, they're 100mm square columns, and check out the size of the plate which has been spec'd for the bottom of it. what did you say this was? 15 mil.
15 mil plate.
So 50 mil plate, and then this is 100 mil square hollow section, and I think it's 6 mil wall, maybe.
Yeah, 6 mil.
Yeah. So one of those in each of the pits, and for these ones they're plated at the bottom, but they're going to be welded to the top. So plan is 4 holes, one on each corner, and then there'll be resin fixed down into this slab. Now I just guessed this slab, well I kind of knew roughly where it was going to fall. It looks pretty much central on this one, but for some reason the other one is going to be about 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way across the slab, but that is way deeper than it needs to be, that concrete footing, so we're absolutely fine. And then we've actually got to backfill concrete around the column anyway, just up to just below ground level. So I know you can't picture it yet, but this is actually the stairwell. So there'll be a wall between the 2 seals there through to the annex. So the stairs will come up and back round and return onto this bit. Go up the dodgy step ladder, dodgy ladder. Our stairs don't come all the way up to this point. They are a little bit further back. So there's another steel beam that's got to come across, and then there's a cantilever section just across from here. There is a reason for that on the design. I think it's the head height downstairs. And then there's another beam which will tie this one across to our stud wall, which runs across between these two. We obviously can't do that until the stud wall's up. So once we've got the stud wall up to 2.4 meters or whatever it needs to be, then there'll be another similar sized beam that goes across, spans across and sits onto that one. So there you go, that's all bolted in, so you can see where it's notched in, but you can also see just that it's a little bit lower than this one. This one definitely could have been a smaller steel, but hey ho, as long as they're flush on top. I've just finished cutting out those 2 rails. So apart from all the scaffolding, which is hopefully coming down this week, that is the permanent feature of this side of the building. So our wall comes along here, this is all glass all along here, and then there's a solid wall along back that side. Right, so I'm going to start off, we're going to do this one first. I'm going to measure up our distance and hope that I've ordered long enough steel. I think I have. So I'm going to clean that down there, get a laser point up to there and see where we are. And then next thing I'll do is use the laser level as a plumb line to pick up exactly the center of the plate. We've been getting on with it. I'll show you where we are. We're almost ready to tighten down these resin bolts here. But we now got both columns up, completely plumb, lovely and level. So this one here ends up hidden inside a stud wall that comes out, creates a laundry room and stuff like that. This is obviously the stairwell that comes up and goes back up onto the landing. And then this one here, I'll try and dig out a floor plan, but we've got a wall that comes out to about here, and I think there's a metre walkway. So as the curved staircase comes up to the landing, you can actually walk left of the pillar or to the right, and we'll get this, we'll box that, because one plan is to put in a timber, put in an oak frame underneath this. The original idea was to build the whole mezzanine out of green oak, Douglas fir, but unfortunately, because of this span, it was just a little bit of an unknown. We could have done it, it would have been fine for supporting upstairs, but because we wanted to pick up an extra column to support the ridge, just to give a bit more support to the roof as well, we've ended up needing to do it in steel. But if we do want that look of having the oak, well then we'll put the posts up against these, and under the ceiling level we can still put that in, and this span is far more achievable in oak. Even though it won't be supporting the floor, we could still run in, it might only have to be 200 or 250 deep, that beam across there. So the plates down there, all of that resin's gone off, so in a few minutes we'll tighten those down, and the space underneath we'll use a grout, and then this will be backfilled with concrete, so will that one, and then concrete will almost be done. We've got the pool slabs pour on Tuesday, and I'm hoping that that 12 cubes will be enough for the pool slab, these two, and a small section of wall by the front door. It's been a busy few weeks, as well as being crazy busy on the build itself. It's summer holidays, we've been doing a bit of camping, getting all set up ready for the new arrival, and of course managing the farm. So it's been a bit jumbled the last couple of weeks, but bear with us because there's a lot of big videos coming up, and we're going to be getting onto those walls, timber framing, and a lot more action in the next couple of weeks. But thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.